So we just got off the train in the outskirts of Munich, and we're going to go to an INEOS Grenadier dealer in Munich. I found it. It's about a 29-minute train ride outside of town, and we're just going to show up and see what we see, to see any differences that they have over here in Europe versus what we find in California. So it's beautiful. It's countryside. There are fields with deer. So anyway, we're gonna carry on, find out what we see when we get there. In typical German fashion, we're gonna ask for permission to make a video recording when we get here so that we don't get chased out. Because this obviously is a Rolls-Royce dealer and BMW service, it appears. So we'll find out. So we just walked in, and the first thing we noticed, we're greeted and asked if we could take pictures. And the first thing that we're going to get to see that we don't have in the U.S., this isn't true around the world, but is a quartermaster. So he's just getting him to move it around so that we can go up and see it. So they just parked the quartermaster over in a spot so that we could go into it and see it. And of course, this is their demo that they're using at the moment, Schmidt Premium Cars. And this is also a Rolls-Royce dealer, because we walked in and they have a Grenadier in the showroom, and they also have Rolls-Royce. Okay, so this looks familiar. Black leather. What's different is that there's the window right behind the rear seat. And of course that's different looking. It's just kind of right behind the rear seat, because in the Grenadier, the rear seat can fold forward, and I'm sure this one actually probably can fold forward too. Here's the auxiliary battery, which in a TrialMaster you have this instead of the premium audio, because this is where the subwoofer goes if you have the premium audio. So you can have one or the other, but not both. And so if you order a TrialMaster, you cannot have premium audio. If you order a Fieldmaster, you can have premium audio, and you can still get the front and rear lockers and some of the other TrialMaster accessories, the raised air intake, but you can't get the auxiliary power. You can still get all the switching, the pre-wire. And let's see, is this diesel? Diesel. So this is a diesel. I thought it sounded a little different. That's another thing that we don't have in the US. And I see there's AdBlue and the diesel. So that's another big difference that we don't have in the US. So if I open the back, it's definitely heavy duty. It's definitely secure for sitting on it. And then the back has got a great amount of space. You get a different roll bar, because there's the regular roll bar, and then there's the one for this cover. And if you opt for this cover, you delete the other one. But it creates a big cavernous space. You could probably you could almost get a pallet inside there. And then these just snap. Zip. Snap. And it obviously the car's wet, the inside was clean and dry. But this is all standard. It looks exactly like the Grenadier. This is the black leather And it almost looks, maybe that seat's put back, but it almost looks like the legroom might be a little bit different, but I don't know that for a fact. Because clearly this is not going back any further. It's not going to lean back anymore. Oh, here's a tire jack. Interesting, and I think these are tie downs. This is the rubber flooring, which you can actually pull the drain plugs out and hose this down. And people complain that there's not a power seat, and one of the reasons for that is there's no electrics down here, and that's so that you can rinse this out. And off-road people would like that, farm people would like that, city people probably not as much. They want the carpet. I wanted the carpet because to me it feels more normal to have carpet inside of a car. But people that get the rubber with the rubber floor mats seem to enjoy them just as well. So no real complaint. The rest is all the same. But yes, you can tell this is definitely Britannia blue. It's so funny, I thought it was black. I think we're gonna finish up with the quartermaster and go back inside for a little bit, but this is kind of exciting to see because we haven't really seen them in America. They may have a prototype or two floating around the country, but dealers haven't gotten them yet. And so it's kind of exciting to see. And so I guess I'm glad we made the trip. So let's go ahead and go on inside. It's kind of a damp but yet sunny day. It's about 40 degrees out, so I'm only partially freezing. Station wagon. This is what we're familiar with seeing in the U.S. This is a utility wagon. What does that mean to them? 76,000 euros. 5-seat Trial Master. Really? Trial Master. Doesn't have a raised air intake. Definitely I think this is Scottish white, but the sunlight is playing with our eyes, and I think it's too light for Magic Mushroom. It's got alloys. This is an inky black. And of course, it's hard for them to keep cars clean here when it rains all the time. This is a Fieldmaster. So they have a little bit of everything, just a little bit. Look at those rims. It's got utility rails, doesn't have the rear ladder. Always makes me wonder. What, 5-seat Fieldmaster, okay. 91,000 euros. This is a diesel, smooth pack, rough pack. Interesting. Looks like they show their color samples a little bit differently. We've seen gas cans or jerry cans in the U.S., but they actually have little metal pieces that you can pick up and touch. Okay, that's Magic Mushroom. That's the car outside is definitely Scottish white. But see, if I put inky black next to Britannia Blue, and Sella Green were indoors, and they almost all look like a variation of black. And then this is Donny Gray next to it. So that's Donny Gray, Sella Green, Britannia Blue, and Inky Black. Tilted against the light, and you can kind of see some difference. These are very interesting colors in how they pick up the light. And notice the sterling silver. It's definitely silver, but it kind of takes a blue cast. This is the Shayla, and this is Eldoret Blue. And across the back, I just noticed they have an LED light bar. And a little example of the toot button. This is a Black Sheep storage box. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. And I'm not sure what causes it to unlock. Ah, lift up. Because that would be dead handy. So, this is obviously really deep, which is great. This is great storage. But notice the height. I'm not super tall, but this makes me look even smaller. But you get to your Grenadier and it sort of starts right about here. And then if you add this much depth, if you need serious storage, it's a good solution, but you better be a tall person because there will be storage placed above, and there's utility rails on top of this integrated in. But it's just, I'd be reaching because these are really nice. I've never seen one before. It's a Black Sheep. Oh, this is Donny Gray. It's funny, it doesn't look like it until you get up close and you notice it's metallic. It's a pretty color. And they have the gray and white contrast seats. This is what I have. I'm not sure if you can, we'll go to the other side for the steering wheel, but it's got the special leather. It's, yes, I know that sound. See? Some people like this, some people don't, because it doesn't match anything, but it's got a great feel to it. And it goes on the steering wheel, the parking lever, and the passenger grip right above the storage box. But it's not quite as brown as it appears in some of the pictures. It's darker. I mean, it's not as light of a color. I know people swear by it. Some people swear by it. I don't think it matches the colors at all, and that's where my head goes. But it's a nice option. And of course, they're showing things on the utility rails. Even their little sign with the price list on it. And this one's only 94,000 euros. Can be yours. 5-seat Trialmaster, but it looks like it's got lots of options, got leather added and things like that. But good display. Ah, and here's the winch. I like that. They've got the winch tied around the pole, the beam at the dealership. But see, this piece of the just pops out, and the winch is underneath it. In America, I think it's done a little differently. It actually has a license plate that flips up. Here, they actually have the whole assembly that snaps off, and I think that's just different because our country is different. Because I think that the winch that they use in America, it's just, you're able to just flip this up and it's right behind it. So that's kind of interesting. So that's it for visiting the Grenadier dealer in Munich. In one way, not much to see, and in another way, a lot to see, because we saw things that we just don't have in the U.S. So anyway, a great experience, and we're off to the BMW world to see the world of BMW and Mini. So that will take up the rest of our afternoon, and maybe we'll shoot a little video over there too. But from the neighborhoods of Munich, I'll sign off for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.